This is an insult. This is a disgrace. This is a slap in the face for a vast majority of Irish people. Official Ireland's disdain for its own people, its own heritage, its own history, is constantly surprising me. Every day goes by, I seem to see something new popping up that is just a level beyond what went before. And today's story is no different to that. When you put up a monument in a town or a city, it speaks to something. It commemorates something, or it embodies something. And until seemingly yesterday, when we were putting up monuments, big and small, in public places, with public funded money in most cases, well, they were commemorating something proudly. They were saying something proudly. They were stating something that the people either wanted stated or completely bought into and stood behind. And now that's changed, because the official Ireland, and I'm talking about the people I talk about often here, which is your political elites, and they are an elite class. They're detached from ordinary Irish people now. They're a separate thing. They kind of do their own thing, and they associate with themselves, and they basically don't care about the masses. And then you have obviously the mainstream media, who again I talk about a lot here. Absolutely disgraceful bunch of people. Complete propagandists at this stage. Journalism doesn't even come into the frame now. And then, of course, you have the academic side, the university professorial types. You know the ones I'm talking about, the ones who are indoctrinating your adolescent children and turning them into rabid lefty maniacs. Well, of course, they consider themselves intellectually superior, and the vast, vast majority of them, as is shown in pretty much every study you can do, are all a bunch of far left crazies. They're completely woke, pretty much communistic material. And the great irony of all that is, whenever communists do take over, the first people against the wall are always the intellectuals. That's a by the by. But recently, in the last few days, the town of Drogheda, which is in Louth, well, it's in Louth and Meath. It's kind of a border, goes through a bit of it, so it's slightly complicated. But that's not why we're talking about it. They put up two new monuments, two new sculptures, modern art type stuff, and they were commissioned and they were put in situ. And whilst one is perfectly fine, I've seen it, okay, fair enough, I get it. The other is to my mind, deeply insulting. And as far as I'm concerned, a slap in the face for ordinary Irish people who love their country and love their culture and their history and their ancestors. And I'll tell you why. What am I talking about? I'm talking about this piece of art here. Now, I'll throw this open to the floor. What is your first impressions of this monument proudly standing on the entrance to a major Irish town? What's your first thoughts? What's your first impressions? I know what mine were when I saw it, but you let me know what you think when you see this. Do you ever get the sense that they're openly mocking you, that they're openly insulting you, that they're openly deriding you and all of your history and heritage? They're not even hiding it. Do you ever get the feeling that they're just doing it openly because they don't really care? That symbol on the top, on the crown of that monument, in a prominent position to a major Irish town, that is a symbol, the symbol of Islam, one of the symbols of Islam. It's not a Celtic cross. It's not even a cross. Ireland is still very, very much a Christian country, a Catholic country. No, that is an open insult to every Irish person here, every Christian person here, every Catholic person here. That is Islam. Prime, proud, and on top of this monument as people come into the town. That was my impressions. Maybe it's yours, maybe not. Maybe you have a different view. According to the sculptor, the artist, the person commissioned, who got generously paid for these works, and I've seen her other works, and some of them are quite good. I like some of them. This is at the very, very best, insensitive, given the current climate, given the current situation here in Ireland. At best, insensitive. At worst, absolutely downright insulting, downright disgusting. The very same people who would never imagine in their wildest dreams putting a Christian cross or a Celtic cross on the top of a monument, a modern art monument, for fear of possibly offending new to the parish, new to the country, people from other faiths, Muslim people or people from other faiths from other parts of the world, other cultures. They wouldn't dare dream of insulting them by putting a cross there. Good Lord. Even though the vast majority of people here in Ireland still consider themselves as Christian. The vast majority Catholic. Oh, they'd never put a Christian cross, but they would put the symbol of Islam. Why? Well, you can make up your own mind on that. I know I have. Because they don't care what we think. They really don't care. It doesn't bother them. And on top of that, if you've ever wondered, as I have often, how civilizations die, how they collapse, I'll tell you how. Because people who hate their own people get into positions of power. People who despise their own history and traditions and their own culture and their own heritage. People like that, when they ascend to positions of power in your society, it's over. The clock is ticking. You're done. They are the very people who opened the gates every time and let invaders in. They're never in the battlements. They're always behind while you're in the battlements with me, doing your best, giving it all, giving it everything. No, there's a certain type of person who's always in the background, scheming how and when to open the gates. Yeah. When those people start to get into positions of power in your society, be it in political terms, be it in academia, be it in the media, then your civilization, your society will founder. It's done. And when you see the like of this, and I know myself, these people who would never dream of putting a cross on top of that, because some Muslims might be offended with that. We couldn't have that. But they'll quite happily put the symbol of Islam there. And we're not supposed to notice. We're not supposed to notice. And if we do, that just means we're bigots and racists and homophobes and any phobe you want to list off. We're just bad people. Well, I don't play that game. But let's pause for just a moment. There may be more to this whole thing. And if there is, let's try and get to the bottom of it, because it may not just be a bunch of idealistic, idiotic, anti-Irish, anti-Christian, anti-Catholic morons, idiots and imbeciles in the mix. There could be more to this, and if there is, I want to know what it is. And I want you to know what it is, because let's just stop shooting from the hip here. We can all get emotional. We can all see things, be very upset. We can all see things and be very insulted. But quite possibly, there may be some reasoning behind this. What does the artist herself, Breda Marin, an Irish artist, what does she say? Well, this taken from her own website states, the second sculpture is called Bowen, Goddess of the Boyne, embodies the power of transformation through creativity, love, and connection. Wow, that sounds amazing. The boat holds space for people to come together to enjoy all that the Boyne has to offer, as Bowen holds them under the guiding light of the sun, moon, and stars. It seems to me that Bowen, the mythical Celtic, Gaelic goddess, is holding them under the guiding light of Islam, in which case Bowen, being, one assumes, a female, a woman, would be at the back of the room, because that's how Islam works. The women are at the back. The men are at the front with the boys. Women, not so much. They're at the back. So Bowen would probably be guiding them from the back of the room. Well done, Breda Marin. Well done. Bravo. Furthering the cause of feminism there. She then goes on to state that the Star and Crescent has long been associated with Drogheda. That is absolutely correct. In fact, it dates back to 1210. The seal was granted by King John back in the day. But here's the kicker. The seal of King John, the coat of arms on which the Star and Crescent is included in some iterations, was an 8-sided star. 8-sided star. What you have depicted in your piece of art is a 5-sided star. It's got nothing to do with King John in 1210. It's got nothing to do with the history of Drogheda. It's got nothing to do with Ireland. That is the symbol of Islam. Let me remind you, if reminding is needed, that Drogheda held out bravely against the forces of Cromwell. He eventually overcame them, massacred them. Men, women, children, massacred. Christians, Catholics, wiped out, driven onto the sword, onto the pike. Christians. The head of St. Oliver Plunkett is still in Drogheda town centre and is preserved to this day. A Christian martyr. Don't talk to me about stars and crescents because I've done the homework. I know the history. What you have put atop, at the crown of your creation on the way into Drogheda is an abomination to every Catholic and every Christian here. You're laughing at us. You're laughing at us openly. You're mocking us. You're belittling us. We see you. We all see you. We know what you're doing. This is deliberate. It's to undermine us. It's to make our history, our heritage, our culture be meaningless. You're hiding behind this, oh yes, there was a certain thing at a certain... No, you're lying. You're lying. You're lying. We know you're lying. Remove this abomination immediately. Get it out of there. Get it out of there. We don't want it. We do not want people driving into Drogheda, one of the main towns in this whole country, and driving past that every day. You want to insult us. You want to make us pass this every day under the guise of, well, it's just harmless legends of Ireland. No, it's not. No, I grew up in the land of legends. I grew up at a time when legends were important. I went to school back in the day where Irishness was the centre point, the centre part of our education. We learned all the legends. We learned all the legends in school as boys and girls, young. We were imbibed, imbued with Finn McCool, Oisin, Nafina, Niall of the Nine Hostages, the Children of Lir, Queen Maeve and the Ton Boculia. We knew all this stuff. It's all gone now. We want that gone. Why? Because it's to us. It's to us. Our culture was too rich. Our culture was too deep. They want it gone. They want it gone because people rooted in that kind of fertile soil, they're difficult to control. They're difficult to maintain. You can't bend them that easy because a corporation wants it or because an empire wants it. They really fear us. That's why they have to get rid of us. And what you see in this monument, yeah, that's their attempt. Demoralise you. Make you drive past this every day. Make you look at this every day and think what you think. They want you to think, they want you to believe that you're a beaten people, that it's over. You had your time, you had your day in the sun, but now it's all different. It's all changed. Your time is gone, it's past. Your people are finished. You just have to get with the program. Well, I will not get with the program. I'm not part of the program. I will not lie down. Remove this abomination immediately.